Okay, so there's one SEO strategy you have to master in 2018. I'm going to show it to you and we're starting right now. If you want to transform your website into a customer or lead generation machine, I'll show you all my best tips, tactics, and secrets to get there fast. Let's dive in. Hey guys, Wes McDowell here for The Deep End, and if you're not subscribed yet, we put out new videos each and every week, so you're definitely going to want to click subscribe and also click the little bell icon so you never miss another video you need to succeed online. Okay, so if you have a website in 2018, you probably know by now that Google's algorithm changes all the time, which can really mess with where you show up in the search rankings. But what you may not know is that Google's actually getting smarter, and it's developed a lot of artificial intelligence, which is kind of taking over a lot of the algorithm changes, prioritizing what's important for individual searches. And they call this RankBrain. In short, RankBrain basically shifts the weight of what's important for each individual search, and it actually learns more and more from every search, and then every action every searcher ends up taking. Now, Google's main goal here is to really determine the searcher's intent and then to show the most appropriate search results for each individual searcher. So how do they do this? Well, they start from a rough place of traditional SEO, prioritizing who gets put in what order for each individual search. But then they started to use user behavior to sort of shift the order of search results around so that the most useful results, as determined by the actual Google users, are prioritized to the top. Now, they use many different factors to determine this, but I'm going to simplify it and just kind of go over the two main things that you can control, and those are how many people click on your result, and then secondly, how much do people like your page once they land there. And that's not too easy to determine. Google looks at a bunch of factors to determine how universally liked a site actually is. So first, let's talk about how you can get as many clicks on your search result as possible. Now, it's actually important to note that this is not just a straight whoever gets the most clicks wins. It's actually graded on a curve. So let's say if one company is number one in the search result, Google would expect them to get around 35% of those clicks. And then let's say another result is result number 3, and they're expected to get around 14% of the clicks. But let's say that third result ends up getting a higher percentage than 14. And then let's say the number 1 page ends up getting a lower percentage than 35. So what happens basically is one result underperforms and one overperforms. And Google notices this, and they're likely to actually reverse the order of those listings. So if you overperform, you get rewarded, and if you underperform on expectations, you will get penalized. So as long as you can do better than the expectation on you, you can keep moving up through the ranks. So let's get tactical and see how we can stack that deck in your favor. In the old days, you wanted to use exact keyword matching in your title and your description, but that's not really as important today in 2018. So the new goal really is to use words in your title and description that satisfy what the searcher wants to see, while adding some other compelling words and benefits that are really going to make your listing stand out. So one trick I'd like you to use is just do some Google searches for your keywords that you think you want to rank for and some close variants. And then take a very close look at the Google ads that they show you. Lots of money has probably been invested in most of these ads. So the fact that they're there usually will tell you that they've been somewhat researched. Pay close attention to what words are used in both the titles and the descriptions. Also, what kind of offers are being presented. Make note of a lot of these words, and you're going to want to write those down, and you're going to want to combine those with some action words or power words. You might also want to use numbers whenever possible. That could be in reference to a price, or if it's more of an article, it could be a number list. People love to click on those. One more trick, it may sound small, but it has been known to work. You're going to want to capitalize all the first letters in your title. Those tend to just get more attention and are more often clicked on than sentence case titles. And if this just isn't your forte, I get it. Not everyone is a writer, certainly not a sales writer. So you may just want to go to a site like Upwork and hire a sales-focused copywriter to come up with maybe 10 to 20 variants of titles and descriptions for you that you can narrow down and even split test if you want to go that far with it. Okay, so now that you've won the click and people have clicked onto your actual site, let's talk about how to keep people there longer. Because by keeping people on your site as long as possible, that sends a really strong signal to Google that your page is actually what searchers are looking for and that it should be shown even higher in the search results. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is your headline on your landing page really needs to closely mirror the title and description that they clicked on to get there. Because if there's a big disconnect there, that's really going to increase your bounce rate, or it's going to make people just go right for the back button to look for the next result, which is definitely sending a bad signal to Google. Now, I'm not saying it has to be an exact word for word verbatim match, but it should be as close as possible, just so people know that they're in the right spot. The next thing you're going to want to do is include really in-depth content. I definitely recommend more than 2,000 words. And here's where it gets different from old school SEO tactics. It definitely has to be written to be read by your prospective customers. Used to be a lot of keyword stuffing was common practice. Nowadays, not so much, because remember, the whole goal now is to keep people on your site and interested for as long as possible. That is what Google will now start rewarding. So beyond the content being really in depth, I recommend it be written for the web, meaning you don't want Wikipedia style big walls of text. Nobody likes to read that. Break it up, short paragraphs, short sentences, bullet points when possible, images when possible. And again, don't worry about keyword stuffing because Google's actually gotten very good at knowing topics. So instead of trying to cram as many instances of one specific keyword phrase into your page, Google actually knows all the different variants and the different kinds of words that should be on your page based on the topic. So that's what I want you to focus on instead. Now, these are referred to as LSI, or latent semantic index words, which sounds very technical and you don't need to even worry about what that means, but these are just closely related words to your topic. So that just signals to Google that your page probably covers your topic very well because it contains so many of the words that it understands to be relevant to your topic. So you can actually go to the website lsigraph.com to find a list of these words. And I'm not saying use all the words that they show you, only use the ones that make sense and that flow well within the page. Because remember, the goal is actually to appeal to your readers, and if it starts to feel spammy, they're just going to get out of there. And now I highly recommend you also include a video or two on that page. Because think about it, if there's a video and if it's a couple minutes long, people are going to stay on your page to watch that video, and that can really build up your time on page stats. So what kind of video should it be? Well, you need to think about what makes the most sense for your business. It could be an explainer video. If you have a product or service that needs a little bit of explanation, those are great. It could be a demo. It could be a video testimonial from a current or past client. It could even be kind of a fun behind the scenes look at your business. Again, just think about what makes sense and don't get hung up on feeling the need for Hollywood level production value. You don't need that. You can absolutely use your smartphone to film one of these. Just make sure it's well lit and the sound is good. Now, if you're gonna use a video, very important to note, don't set it to autoplay. It's a big mistake a lot of people make. Any kind of unnecessary sound that people weren't expecting is definitely gonna make them head right back for the search results. So don't do that. And if you are gonna have it autoplay for some reason, make sure it's set to default on silent with captions. Okay, so these are some of my best tips to manipulate the RankBrain ranking factor of 2018. So now I want to hear from you in the comments. I would love for you to tell me how you plan on putting this into action for your own website. And of course, I'm just a comment away. So if you have any questions about any of this, please also leave those in the comments below and I'll get to them. All right, and we do put out videos like this each and every week. So if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and click the little circle icon right over here to subscribe. And if you haven't accessed my free mini course, How to Guarantee Website ROI, you can get that right up over here. All right, guys, I'm Wes McDowell for The Deep End, and I'll see you in the next video.